for water and sustainable development at the upcoming 2026 water conference that will be held in December in UAE. We're going to focus on how to channel private sector power to strengthen the conference, how we can turn ambitions into real scalable action and solutions. And we want to make progress on water and sanitation that we know is making progress but going a bit slow, and we need to scale up. And to do that, we need to look at the absolute foundations to get project finance ready. We need to look at information exchange. We need to look at building capacity. And this is all about the power of partnerships. And a vital part of those partnerships is engaging with the private sector. And I think this is going to be the topic for this discussion today. I'm very pleased now to introduce my three speakers. I have Retno Marsudi. You're the UN Secretary General's Special Envoy on Water. We have Abdallah Dardari. You're UN Assistant Secretary General and Director of the Regional Bureau of Arab States with UNDP. And we have Dolly Mirshardani. You're a partner and co-head of Global Infrastructure Industry Group at White & Case LLP. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's kick this off with the first question to you, Retno. So while it is most important shift, and I would like to hear from you, what is the most important shift to turn SDG commitments into practical, scalable solutions? And in that discussion, where can private sector add real value?
Right. Well, thank you very much, Joachim. I think your question is very relevant question to our discussion today. You mentioned that if we look back, starting from 2015 until now, of course we made progress. But the question here is whether the progress is sufficient enough to meet the needs of the people. And then the answer is no. We need to accelerate progress on the implementation of SDG 6. That's number one. Number two, I have to acknowledge, I have to a little bit go back to what happened in 2023. The 2023 is a very important milestone. Why? Because that is the time that we were able to bring water at the back at the center stage of discussion in the UN. And then second one, there are many commitments. I mean, I want to see the commitment as a stronger attention to water. So 2023 was a very important milestone. Now we are on the 2026, preparing another UN Water Conference. So what makes 2023 and 2026 different? That is on the implementation. When I mentioned that we need to accelerate progress, means we need to accelerate implementation. And implementation action will be the focus priority of the 2026 UN Water Conference. And then you mentioned about private sector, of course. Look, the government, of course, take the lead. I mean, private sector cannot replace the government. But at the same time, we understand, we acknowledge, when it comes to investment, when it comes to financing, then there is a limitation resources from the government. This is where the private sector could play a role. But the question here also is that how we make the right partnership between the government, private sector, other stakeholders, and also UN to bring the benefit for the people. I mean, I would like to underline that whatever we do, the focus should be the people. So again, this year, the 2026 UN Water Conference is an action-oriented conference, and the aim is to accelerate progress.
Yes, thank you, Retno. And we're going to come back to public-private partnerships. Can I just ask you, we want to turn the commitments into implementation, right? And I was just wondering, the UN's role here. What could the UN do to create a trusted space for private sector engagement while we protect inclusion, affordability, and accountability? So, the UN, what can we do in the UN?
A lot, or at least many, I say. So, number one, UN can be a trusted convener.
Right.
Number two, UN can help set clear principle. Number three, UN can provide trusted data and evidence. Number four, UN can help country priorities with and link it with finance, data, technology, implementation, capacity, and UN must also ensure that engagement is inclusive. Inclusivity is very important. And again, I would like to underline that the goal is responsible partnership that help delivers SDG 6 for the people.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, I want to turn to you, Abdallah, and also the Arab State region. And we know that water and energy is very linked, and so is water and food. So let me just ask you, what is the latest assessment of progress on energy access and clean energy transition, and how these trends likely to be affected by the energy crisis taking place?
At the moment, the region, and this is the most water-poor region in the world, and the most crisis-prone region in the world, and so we have to deal between those two very important variables. There has been a setback because of the current conflict,
right.
And the setback will be manifested, already is manifesting in a deterioration in the Human Development Index and the ability to achieve the SDGs. We believe that the HDI has been set back by 1 or 2 years at least in the region, plus the shrinking fiscal space as a result of lower exports of crude oil. All of this means that the available resources for investing in innovative water and energy solutions is not as available today as it was yesterday. At the same time, this crisis is also an incentive for the region to go beyond reliance on crude oil and find renewable, sustainable energy water solutions. And that energy water nexus and food security nexus has become extremely important. It's almost a national security issue in the region. So while we have this temporary shock, the region is planning to, I know that the region is planning to recover and move forward, and the UN's role, and we as UNDP are there to help bridge the gap between the limited fiscal space and available private sector resources in order to serve the energy water nexus in the most sustainable manner.
Thank you. Thank you. Could you also